What's going on, Scorpio? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. So for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just the greatest, Scorpio, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. So Scorpio, it's your general weekly spread. I don't really have any kind of intro. It's just going to be different every time, Scorpio. But whenever you come across this video, Scorpio, there could be some messages there in here for you. And then just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Crystals. Feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Scorpio. So Scorpio, with this spread, just going to be going with the flow. I'm going to be pulling a few oracle cards, and then we'll get some tarot to get some details. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And then the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested there, Scorpio. I'm with it. So your first card here, Scorpio, is the 5th card of Aries, which is the slingshot card. And with that slingshot, this is the card of tension, strain, sudden, anxiety, pressure, launch, stressed, pull, set in motion, focus, begin, force, change, pulled in opposite directions, ready, aim, fire. Now, Scorpio, I will say, when this card pops up, you know, if we've been feeling in a place of where there's been a lot of anxiety, a lot of maybe been in like a stressful situation, any things along those lines, you know, we want to be mindful of being, you know, where we're being spread too thin or anything like along those lines. You know, whether this is like maybe we've been really busy at work, or maybe there's been a lot of stuff going on in the home front, or maybe just life stuff in general. But if that's resonating with you, carving out more time to just bring yourself, you know, bring yourself some calm. And it's like, I know that's like a no-brainer, but if it's something where you've noticed that, you know, like really being intentional, carving out these moments for yourself, you know, if we got to start doing like a daily thing, maybe carving out like, I'd say at least a good half hour, you know, be really more. But if we can carve out maybe between 10 minutes to a half an hour a day, you know, just like if we've just been feeling really stressed, to do some maybe just some intentional breathing, or, you know, if we get a chance, maybe going for a walk, whether that be maybe around the block or however that's looking, you know, maybe listen to some calming music or lighting some incense, you know, whatever this is, just carving out some time for yourself, Scorpio. Make that part of your routine, because, you know, I feel like we get into this place where sometimes like we just feel like we have to push through this stuff all the time, and that if we can't work through the pressure, then we're just like, it's you know, like it makes us weak or something along those lines. But where there are times to push, Scorpio, there is equal time that we have to rest, and that we have to balance this stuff out. Because if we're operating from this place of anxiety and stress, you know, that constant, you know, pressure, that we may not feel it now, but over time, it's just like if you held a rubber band just like this, and, you know, never pulled it, never let it come back to its original shape, it's going to stretch out, and things are going to get loose, and it's going to lose that snap, you know, that it normally has, that oomph. And we don't want to lose that, Scorpio. We want to keep that oomph. But let's get some oracle, or let's get some tarot cards on this. Get a little more details on this energy, Scorpio. Absolutely, Scorpio. You got the 8 of Swords here. And listen, with this 8 of Swords popping up, you know, this is what can happen, you know, if we stayed up, like if we stay too caught up in our heads, you know, like just like it can, if we stay in this trapped place, Scorpio, in this place of anxiety and things, then what's going to happen is that's just going to keep permeating. You know, we have to do some things to alleviate this stuff, because Eight of Swords is like staying trapped in a situation and not thinking that we can get out of something. So if there's something, whether this is a situation, a person, you know, whatever that's causing these intense feelings, is like, how can we get out of this stuff? You know, how can we break this cycle, break this narrative, you know, that we can't, you know, that this is it, you know, that we're just going to kind of, well, the birds are just going to be just crowing around us, so let me just get settled in. No, you know, this is... Once we, you know, Scorpio, I feel like once we take this pressure off and really start alleviating this thing, because the Eight of Swords, this is Jupiter in Gemini. And I say that because, interestingly enough, Jupiter's actually in a detriment in Gemini, just because it's opposite Sagittarius, their ruler. But I bring that up to say is that Jupiter in Gemini is a weaker energy. And I feel like when we stay in our head, it makes it so that our abundance, Jupiter, stays weak. You know, if we stay in our heads like that, and we stay under these tensions and things. But if we look at this from a different perspective, you know, and like try to work in this just more times to alleviate this pressure, I really feel like that this is going to bring about fortune and just going to help you feel just so much better. Things are going to get set into motion better, just going to kind of calm out, Scorpio. Let's get some more on this. All right, Scorpio, you're getting this all day. So we got Four of Swords. All right, look at the Four of Swords in reverse here. And again, if we're stressed out, you know, because this is what happens, you know, if we don't deal with this stuff, you know, it affects our mental health, and then eventually it's going to affect our physical health, you know, just, you know, the body gets tired. It's a whole thing, Scorpio. So Four of Swords is a card of rest. Jupiter in Libra. Look at this, it's affecting, we're all this air energy that we're in right now, it's affecting your abundance if we're staying in our head like this, you know, if we've been under this stress. So take some time, Scorpio, really doubling down on that. Take some time, and I feel like that things are going to, the fortune is going to start changing. And, you know, just thinking with that being Jupiter in both of these signs, you know, Jupiter being the planet of higher learning, of expansion, of really understanding the cause of this, Scorpio, and not, you know, because it's one thing to know that this thing is causing you stress, but you know, it's another thing to get the wisdom from that and start healing from this thing, you know, start changing the energies a little bit. So I hope that makes sense. But, you know, let's not get in this place where we're just like exhausted and just like where we eventually just lead to just like this burnout here. And it's all right, Scorpio. So just something to be mindful of. Let's get another oracle in on the mix here. Interesting. All right, Scorpio. Got the 8th card of Sagittarius here, which is the microphone card. And with the microphone card, this is a card of news, trending, broadcast, expression, strong opinion, make known, current events, public speaking, speak the truth, communicate, social media, being heard, and speaking up. And, you know, Scorpio, I do feel like for some of you, you know, if we've been in this place where just if that anxiety part has been resonating with you, whatever this pressure, strain, you know, speaking that truth, you know, and not like if this, whatever's causing this, whether if this is something where we have to be truthful with ourselves, you know, like this is what's causing this situation, or talking with another person like, hey, you know, whatever. speaking that truth, allowing that this Eight of Swords to be heard, you know, that, hey, like I haven't been resting properly, it's been all in my head, it's been this, it's been that, you know, in making this known, you know, let's get this out there. Let's not sit to where this thing is. Because it's not like, because it's Scorpio, you know, it's not that I don't think that you don't know that you're stressed out, but it's just like, I feel like that we're just saying that we're stressed, and then it's just like, sort of like, well, gosh, you know, just all, well, I guess that's just how it is, just always stressed all the time and blah, 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 just sort of like, you know, just kind of like settling with that. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what that energy, just on that part of it, if that's resonating with you, we want to be mindful of that. But I'm also kind of feeling with some others, you know, if we're thinking, just because this card definitely, you know, is kind of talking more sort of like being out in the public and, you know, maybe doing maybe some public speaking or social media, something along those lines. If we are thinking something along that, but we're nervous, you know, maybe we're worried about what people will think about us. Am I going to do a good job? You know, just kind of in our head stuff. We want to be, your thoughts are powerful, Scorpio. So if we tell ourselves that we can't do these things, you know, that we're feeling stressed, nervous, all of that stuff, then that's going to keep us from rising up, you know, to maybe stepping into the limelight or whatever this is. Because listen, Scorpio, those are normal fears to have, you know, especially if we're talking in public, you know, like what if I stumble, you know, what if I do this, what if I do blah, blah, blah. Well, take for me, Scorpio, I'm, you know, stumbling most of the time, you know, it's something that gets easier with practice, you know, we just gotta, we could stay stressed about all the things that people could say, you know, what could happen while I'm on stage, what if I forget my words, what if I do this, what if I do that? Well, Scorpio, what if you kill it? What if you do great? What if you're a success? What if this is like your calling? But, you know, if we, just thinking with that Four of Swords, don't, if anything, in this case, don't sleep on your potential, Scorpio. You know, don't allow this head stuff to allow you to think that you can't get out in the light and, you know, and like make your truth known and like really shine bright. But let's get some more on this, Scorpio. Absolutely. I see you. Okay, so we got King of Wands in reverse here. Okay, so we got King of Wands and King of Pentacles both in reverse. Oh, excuse me, did I say King of Wands? Yeah, King of Wands and then Page of Pentacles in reverse. And, you know, Scorpio, really, if there's, I feel like just like back with, just if we were kind of picking up where I was talking about as far as like social media goes, you know, and just like putting yourself out there, public speaking, whatever. Don't be afraid to do that, Scorpio, because I feel like if we keep ourselves, those skills and those desires locked up, it's not to say that we're going to miss out on opportunities, but it's just going to, because I feel like the opportunities will just always be there. It's just like we got to decide when we want to take it. It's just that when we do decide, if we kind of hold off on this energy, when it comes around again, it may just be a little bit trickier trying to getting it this go around than if we were to tackle it when the energy was ripe. So I hope that makes sense. But like, I just feel like that, you know, King of Wands, don't be afraid to shine. You know, see how you got this line in the background here? King of Wands is confident. King of Wands is just like, absolutely, I got this. You know, like, and I'm going to get this thing figured out. And because, like, it's, you know, you got something you want to share, Scorpio, especially if you got something that is, you feel strongly enough that you're considering putting yourself out there. Go for it, Scorpio. Don't keep this thing hidden up, you know, whatever this is looking like, because this may not even be in speaking. Maybe this could be like with, maybe you're a musician, you know, maybe we're thinking dance, you know, acting, but yeah, don't sleep on these skills, Scorpio, if that's something you've been thinking about. But also, I feel like this is what happens. Page of Pentacles, you know, King of Wands, both in reverse when we don't, if we've been in that stress place and we don't speak that truth. If we keep this stuff bottled up, then it gets into this place where we don't, you know, where we're operating from a place of doubt, you know, where we're not sure if we can get out of this thing, you know, like, you know, we just kind of get settled in on this energy. So if we, you know, if you've been resonating with that anxiety, pressure part of it, stress, then then we got to get eyes on that thing. We got to be truthful with ourselves and then figure out how we can move on from this. And Scorpio, no, this isn't medical advice, but if you're having trouble, maybe talking with someone, maybe talking to like a King of Wands, type person, whether this be a friend, a family member, a professional, whatever, Scorpio. But yeah, just don't sit in this place of just like constant stress and strain all the time. Let's see what else we have. I love it. All right, Scorpio. I absolutely love it. So you got the Seven of Wands here, and then we got one of your rulers, Jupiter. Wouldn't that be something? Pluto. You got the Judgment card here, Scorpio. And here's the deal. For my people wanting to get out there in the public and make their message known, don't worry about criticisms. Don't worry about what other people think. If anything, we won't, because here's the thing. If we're worrying about what other people think, you don't know what other people are going to think, Scorpio. You only know what you think. And if you're thinking those way about these things, then how can we feel more confident in those areas? Like if anything, let that be. Okay, oh, well, what if they laugh at me if I say such? Or, if I stumble? Okay, well, then let's practice in front of the mirror a couple go rounds. For whatever this is that we're doing. But don't just don't sit there and just like make excuses all day, like let's not get to. And listen, Scorpio, like I wouldn't tell you what to do. This is like, you're in a judgment. Mine is a judgment card. You're in a judgment free zone. And I should really think about that. But if I really feel like, Scorpio, that this could be something. If you've been thinking about this could be this could be a changing experience for you. You might feel more relieved doing this thing than if you were to stay just keeping these desires and things bottled up here, Scorpio. But yeah, and last little bit just with like the stress and anxiety part of this thing, kind of tying in with this. Seven of Wands is just really making sure to protect your energy, from yourself and from others. Just like if we've been just in that stress place, because that really can hinder our growth and keeps us from changing and transforming, especially, when we get in like Eight of Swords, things of that, and we're not resting, Four of Swords. So yeah, Scorpio, just something to be mindful of there, okay? All right, let's get your last oracle card here. And honestly, with this Judgment card, Pluto in Aquarius, this is a great time for you, to really, put yourself out there, make yourself known. I love it. You got and all this heat that you bring in, you got the seventh card of Sagittarius, which is the White Rabbit card. And this is a card of spark of curiosity, gnosis, spiritual awakening. It's time, heeding the call, research it, inner knowing, dark to light, going down the rabbit hole, and waking from the dream. And really, Scorpio, if we've been just like sleeping on any kind of ideas, this energy, it's time to wake from the dream. If this card to me is very Saturn and Pisces. If we've been dreaming about some stuff, about maybe broadcasting, just making ourselves known, putting content out there, and however that's look, maybe you're writing a book, maybe you're writing poetry, whatever. Taking those dreams and making them a reality, and embracing this change, going through this, and just talking about just spiritual awakening, depending on when you're watching this, Scorpio, there's going to be that full moon lunar eclipse that's going to be happening on the 5th of May. That's happening in your sign. It's going to be full moon eclipse in Scorpio. So this is going to be a very spiritual, intuitive, great time for getting to know the inner you, dealing with any sort of inner stresses, anxieties, getting out of our heads, embracing this change and transforming. So work with this energy. Heed that call. Listen, judgment is calling, and it wants you to pick your direction, Scorpio, and grow, and expand. But let's get some more on this white rabbit. Yeah, I like that. It's time. It's absolutely time, Scorpio. I love it. And here's your card, Scorpio. Sun in Scorpio. You got the 6 card, or 6 card Scorpios. You got the 6 of Cups here, Scorpio. And with the 6 of Cups, I feel like that this is something that, for those, coming into if we're just, brand new coming into whatever this new thing is that we're doing. We might be feeling in like our infancy right now, like this is something brand new. We're trying to find our footing here. But know that, Scorpio, this is, for me, 6 of Cups can be like a card of experience. Like as we're growing and going through this thing, you're going to get wiser. You're going to get where this is second nature. It's going to get easier. But we have to try it first and go down that rabbit hole and get that inner knowing of ourselves. Embrace that transformation and see where that's leading you, because it's growth that's getting ready to happen here. And I feel like, the 6 of Cups can also be a card for me, just like sharing this stuff, and these, especially if we have like different gifts and things that we've been wanting to just like get out there, share that stuff, Scorpio. Allow that stuff to come to light and let the world celebrate in your amazingness, whatever it is that you've been bringing. But okay, I was gonna say I thought I had something else to this, but yeah, any more? Yeah, let's get some more on this, Scorpio. Yeah, I thought I had another thought, but that's it. Here's Saturn. You got the world here. And I like that. Because you know what? When we embrace that transformation, the world in reverse to me is kind of like, it's like, if we've been... Intuitively, what I'm getting, it's like, for some of us, it's like if we embrace this change, it's almost like the world is asking you, like, what do you want this to look like? If this cycle hasn't been going how you wanted, how do we change that direction? Change that narrative, because the world invites us to build those dreams, and if we haven't been doing that, it's just like, what can we do? What steps can we take to get this thing happening more? But what steps can we do to get these things happening? We don't want to be in a place of restrictions anymore, Scorpio. We're looking on to the future, bigger, brighter things, because after the world here is the Fool. So don't feel afraid to start this new cycle. Just think with this, with the world being in reverse, it's a new opportunity. It could feel a little uncomfortable at first, a little uncertain, but you'll get things figured out, and you'll get this stuff figured out as you go. Might have to think on our toes, be adaptable. The King of Wands is a Sagittarius card, but he's got a little Scorpio in his chart. I like to think of him as Sagittarius with the Scorpio moon. So that's to say, it's like, if it's especially, because Sagittarius, they're a sign of growth and optimism and wisdom. And, if it's going to lead to that stuff, they're going to get to the heart of the matter. They're going to get focused on that. They're going to, Scorpion energy. Then we're going to get fixated on that and get to that world. So work with this energy here, Scorpio, because you got a lot of potential here that I feel like that you're cooking up. It's just thinking about what's next, and then getting out of your way. Ready, aim, fire. Get that direction. All right, Scorpio. Last card here is you got the Justice card. You know what? Let's switch back over because I like that. Because with the Justice card, you know, I feel like that this is a time, Scorpio, to put in that work, you know, to put in that, because the Justice card is like a card of cause and effect. And just like if we're thinking about with like the putting yourself out there, you know, whatever that is, you know, if you put yourself out there, you know, the effects that can happen, I feel like, you know, that your confidence will start rising, you know, once you start getting into this thing, you know, things are, this big picture is all going to start making sense, but we just got to put ourselves out there. We got to take that chance and see where that leads you. But I also feel that, you know, just if we've been just resonating just again with that anxious and just really just kind of been stressed here as of late, you know, really finding the cause of that and getting yourself back in balance, and then watch, you know, as you start alleviating these things, it's just the scales are going to start tipping in your favor and getting back into alignment here where you're feeling well again and just you know, just operating at your highest vibration again. So yeah, just something to think about, Scorpio. But I think I'm going to leave that there. I hope that made sense. You know, kind of like a interesting little reading there. But, you know, give it a thumbs up. Something resonated with you, and share this, Scorpio. You know, someone who's, because I would love it, Scorpio. You know, let your light shine. You know, get yourself out there. But also, you know, don't stay in a state of stress. You know, and if we've been stressed out, you know, just like what can we do to, get that back calm. But yeah, share this thing, Scorpio. And then if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that bell button. You get notified when I have these videos each week. And, you know, while you're managing your stress and stuff, or if you need like a confidence booster or anything like that, you know, I'm on this app Insight Timer, and I created a group on there called Zodiacs Raising the Vibration. And it's just a place to post positive affirmations, encouraging messages. I already have a bunch in there, so if you just need one, I mean, options galore. But yeah, come on over, you know, just join that group. And again, it's a meditation app, Insight Timer, and it's on the group is called Zodiacs Raising the Vibration. And as it grows, you know, I want to do like meditation groups and all types. So, you know, schedule different meditations, be a good old time. So something to check out, Scorpio. And then lastly, if you have any Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, wherever, come on over to my other channel, The Chariot and Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We discuss lunar shenanigans. It's a good old time. And all that housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here, Scorpio, so I can get you out of here. Get you thinking about their next steps there. Five of Wands. And while I'm shuffling this Five of Wands, you know, Scorpio, just if we've just been really in just like a place of conflict and things like that, again, you know, just finding ways to alleviate that. You know, I won't harp on too much with that. But also, you know, with just thinking with the hold on, Scorpio. Okay. Just thinking with the ideas in things. Or like the ideas and things. Let me be more specific. With the possibly getting out in the limelight, you know, maybe putting yourselves out there, maybe putting some work or some things. You know, if this is something that you've really cared about, because your Oracle card, you got the Nourish card. If this is something that you really care about and that you can see yourself really just like nurturing to, like, you know, really see something coming out of this, I really feel like, you know, try not to be, I say go for it, you know, like I just say like go for it and just see what happens, you know, if this is something that you've been thinking about doing that. Because like when you start putting that art out there and start putting the content and start creation, this is a great time for creation and just like all of this stuff, you know, the stage is set for that. So be confident in this, Scorpio, and don't worry about, because maybe we're worried about, you know, let's say if we're like a band, maybe forming a band, for example, maybe we're worried about, well, how are we going to compete with the other bands? There's like 100 billion other people playing music. How are we going to compete? And it's just like, don't worry about how you're going to compete, because the nice thing is there are 100, however many odd bands, and they all have different taste, and your taste might be, you'll get your following, Scorpio. I hope you get what I'm saying with that. But yeah, this is nourish this thing, Scorpio. Support these dreams and see where they'll take you, because I really feel like something cool could definitely happen here. So I'm gonna leave that there, Scorpio. So you stay safe out there and raise your vibration through the roof, because you're about to something's cooking up here, Scorpio. And I will catch you on the next one. Later.